What's up, everybody? Welcome to the channel. Today we're going to be taking a look at a Mattel Creations exclusive Masters of the Universe Revelation Netflix series Masterverse Goddess Evelyn. So really cool box art. As you can see here on the front, we got the real cool picture here. Spin it around to the side. We got her sitting on the Grayskull throne. Got some magic here in her hand. Just looking really cool. Definitely a cool box art. They do a great job with these Mattel exclusive figures. So let's go ahead and get the first part opened up. Here it says, Dark Lyn, evil cosmic goddess. Realizing that Skeletor is more reliant on her power than she is of his, Evelyn steals the Sword of Power and becomes Dark Lyn, the new goddess of Eternia. With all of the power in the universe flowing through her body, Dark Lyn sees nothing but chaos. She sees only one answer: destroy all reality and reset the universe to bring about cosmic order. And then we're going to pull it apart. And we've got some really cool artwork here. Kind of like what they did with Snout Spout. And then we've got another piece here in case you want to use this for like a diorama to display behind her. We're going to go ahead and set that off to the side. And there she is. She looks huge. Let's get her little box of goodies pulled out. All right, she's looking really good. We got anything else holding her in? It looks like no. Barefoot. Alright, so we have got Evelyn pulled out of the box, and as far as her accessories, she came with these two magic effects, as well as a couple open or grabber hands. She is wearing completely open slappers right now, so we do have some grabbing hands right here. She did not come with a weapon, but in case you have one from a previous Evelyn, you'll be able to stick that right in her hand. And then she does have some Fists of Fury right here in case she needs to get down and dirty and knock somebody out. Really cool figure. This halo thing, I wasn't sure how that plugged in at first, but it plugs in kind of right at her collarbone. There are a couple holes right up in here, so I'm not sure how well you can see that on camera, but there are a couple holes right there. It just plugs right in. The holes are not that noticeable when you don't have it plugged in. It took me a second to realize that they were there, but then once you see them, you kind of can't unsee them. So I'm going to go ahead and leave that around her neck, that accessory piece, just because it looks good and it needs to fill those holes. So with her all set up, let's go ahead and go over her articulation. She can look to the left. She can look to the right. She can look down, and she does have that diaphragm cut, which allows her to look down even more. She can look up. Not super far because the halo blocks the back of her head from tipping too much, but you can bend that diaphragm cut back just a hair more to kind of get her to look up a little bit more. As far as her arms, let's go ahead and pull that off. They will go all the way around, however, these shoulder pads are kind of going to get in the way if you raise it up too far. They are meant to kind of sit over her shoulders and float. She does have a swivel in the bicep, double jointed elbows right here. She has a 360-degree rotating wrist, as well as it can fold in and out in case she needs to make different gestures. As we said before, she has a diaphragm cut under her top clothing piece right here, so she can party girl left to right. She can hunch forward and back, and then as you can see here at her waist, she does have a waist cut to spin her waist. She also has cuts in the thighs, so you can rotate her thighs around. Double jointed pinless knees, so you can get that bend all the way up. We do have a calf cut here, which is normally a boot cut, and then we do have ankle rotation. It can rotate down, it can rotate up, and it can roll around a little bit back and forth on that joint. So pretty cool as far as posing. She does seem to have a little bit more trouble standing than some of the other Masterverse figures. So you kind of got to get her positioned just right in order to get her to stand up. I did try a DC figure stand, and I was not having very much success with that. Also, you got to make sure her robe is not under her feet. I am having a really hard time getting her to stand up. Let's see if we can get this. By all accounts, it should work. They work on all my other Masterverse figures. Just seems like her hole, her little peg hole for her foot here at the bottom is just extremely tight. And she just wants to fall backwards, guys. I'm not sure what to do to combat that. The peg in her foot is helping a tiny bit, but that peg is definitely not fitting in there well. So she is going to be one that you're going to have trouble standing. Maybe a flight stand or something like that would be good with her, just because she is she does fly. So a flight stand would make sense. It'd kind of lift her up a little bit and solve this problem with her not being able to stand on her own. I guess one thing that we didn't check out, let's pull her back off the flight stand. Yeah, she's got a really good splits going on. She can do a really good split. The back of her, you can see she does have a wired cape, so you can kind of bend this around to do what you want and kind of flow with the wind certain ways, or however you want to pose it so that it looks like it's actually moving. And then she does have like a galaxy pattern on the back, inside of the back cape. The outside of it is just like a royal bluish purple color. Looks more blue than purple to me. The inside is definitely purple. Unfortunately, guys, I really thought that she was going to stand better than this. It's a really unfortunate situation when the figures don't stand. I feel like that's something that should be key to the design, because she's a really cool figure. She looks really good. She fits that cartoon just right, but I want to get her to stand up here so I can take my hands off of her for a second and just let you have a look. What I'm going to do now is pull in the first Evelyn that we got from the Masterverse series, so you can kind of compare them size-wise and just see what they look like. So as you can see here, scale-wise, she's much closer to the height of the male characters than the females. They definitely gave her her own sculpt. She's got more muscle tone in her legs than the standard female bucks do. It looks like they've also gave her a little bit more muscle in her abdominal and her arms. Once she became Goddess Lynn, she became like really stacked and just kind of gained all around the way He-Man does when he becomes He-Man versus Prince Adam. In this Netflix series, they get larger when they transform. I know in the original Filmation series, Prince Adam was basically, or was exactly, the same size as He-Man himself. But in the newer versions, Prince Adam starts out smaller and then he grows with the power. That's kind of what has happened to Dark Lynn here, and that is what happened to Skelegod as well. You saw when Skeletor got a hold of the power sword, he became Skelegod, got a lot bigger. So it's just kind of standard for what happens when you call down the power of Grayskull. So size-wise, looking really good. Again, this Evelyn isn't how she came. I kind of customized her up a little bit with some parts from some other action figures. So she's not exactly the way she came, but this is the way that I prefer her for right now. I do have one in her original setup, but she just looks better with the bare legs. That's how I remember the vintage version. So that's how I'm going to display her. As far as our final thoughts on Dark Lynn, she's a really cool character. All of her soft goods are really nice. The only complaint that I have is that I wish she stood a little better, and it looks like once you get her posed up, she does stand really well. She will fall over if she gets bumped too hard, but once you do get a pose locked in for her, it seems like she does stand okay. I am, however, going to put her on a flight stand just because I feel like that'd be the best way to display her kind of floating calling in some of this magical power here. This one fell off, but it's still there. So I think that's going to be how I'm going to display her. Let me know what you guys think of this character. You think this Evelyn is a score? She was definitely 50% off when Mattel had that sale. So if you want to pick her up, get on Mattel Creations because she is an exclusive to them. And a really amazing figure. Really happy with this one, guys. I'm glad to get my hands on it. If you enjoyed the video, hit that like button, subscribe to the channel, turn the notifications on so you don't miss any of the upcoming stuff. We got a lot of different things going on the channel. We got some DC, we've got some wrestlers. We did a Halo figure. We got Ninja Turtles for days. Five Nights at Freddy's, Turtles of Grayskull. We're just all over the place when it comes to action figures. I myself am a tattoo artist, and I appreciate art of all kinds, especially 3D art as far as action figure form. I really enjoy the sculpts and all the little bits of details that they put into these figures. So, again, I appreciate you for watching. Have a blessed day. Don't forget to tell someone you love them, and I'll see you next time.